Gary Kong Elkerton joined the Pro Tour halfway through the 1984 season and was immediately a standout due to his savage bravado in big waves, his low body torque power carving, and his hard partying antics on land.
Yeah, listen, it was good times, and again, I after events, and it wasn't like a continual tour for 20 years of drugs and partying. It was that was involved as well, but it was just at certain times, and I enjoyed that lifestyle. I enjoyed the pat on the back. I enjoyed going out and people recognised you, but I knew I was very serious about competing. When I had to put that on and actually face my competitors. There was a different light happening there. And as years moved on, I found that I kind of moved to the side of really keeping to myself as a competitor, to really ooze that competitive spirit out of me. I had to work very, very hard to keep the weight down. For me, was a big problem. So I was always training to keep the weight down. But I had... I did win a lot of small wave events in Florida and Japan and France, and then, and I had to work around that because, I had, some great competitors at that time, from Damien Hardman to Tom Carroll to Martin Potter, the list goes on, and they're all sort of lightweight kind of guys, that excelled in small waves, and our tour back then wasn't like it is today. Today they surf amazing waves. I wish we had waves like that when I was competing, but we had a lot of surf in really small waves.
In 1987, he was beaten to the world title in the last event of the year by fellow Aussie Damien Hardman on a technical interference call at Sydney's North Stein Beach.
I left Hawaii in number one position. It's the year I won the events back-to-back. Should have been world champion, I shouldn't have had to go on to Manly to compete in minute ways at Manly. And the funny thing about that is that the priority rule at that stage was that if you had priority, no matter where you were, the guy who had priority caught the wave. Even if he couldn't get around that section, you could not catch that wave. So I was paddling back out. I needed like 3 point something, and it's right calm, and Damien was way deeper, and he took the wave and just went straight in the whitewater, and I couldn't catch it because I would have been called interference, and I would have got the 3.5, and I would have won the world title right there. Then they changed the rule 2 weeks later. And the other one with the hose, that was a hard one to take.
In 1990, Elkerton was denied a chance to challenge California's Tom Curran for the world title due to an interference by Hawaii's Michael Ho at the penultimate event, the Pipeline Masters.
Derek Ho had won 2 Triple Crowns, and I've equalled that record. And so we were both going for our 3rd Triple Crowns. I was going for a world title as well. He wasn't. And, in Hawaii, when you've got 3 Hawaiians in a heat, because they're 4-man heats over there, it can be quite tricky, especially if there's a title involved. And they were blocking me for Derek to win his 3rd Triple Crown, but I was going for a world title, and I had to get a really good result at Pipe to have a shot at Tom Curran at Sunset. And so they blocked me. And the first wave in that semi, there was Michael Ho. My first wave, he actually grabbed my leg rope as I was taking off at backdoor. And the judges didn't even see that. And you get halfway down, a little pinch, and you just sort of fall. And I ended up getting like 27 stitches in the elbow that was completely open. And then at the end of the heat, I needed a 3.5 to get through to the semis to get closer to that Pipe trophy. And Michael Ho, I was on a wave, and Michael Ho actually just dropped straight down in on me and grabbed me by the shoulder and said, "You're out." But he actually just sacrificed himself, dropped in on me. I didn't get the 3-point ride that I needed. Derek won his 3rd Triple Crown, and I finished 2nd and lost the world title again by a smidgen.
In 1993, an epic year-long duel for the world title between Gary and Michael Ho's brother Derek ended with a close victory for the Hawaiian in one of the last heats of the year. Gary Kong positioned himself inside, preparing to catch a wave. Kong, needing to advance to secure his world title bid, was positioned outside. Ho backed off to allow Larry Rios to catch a wave, which ultimately resulted in Rios scoring well enough to advance, eliminating Kong from the heat, costing him another world title.
Yeah, the third one was the gut wrencher.
Kong racked up numerous tour victories and was the tour's most feared competitor at any venue in various generations. Kong's final tour highlight was at G-Land in 1996. He beat superstar Kelly Slater in the semifinal by scoring a perfect 10-point ride.
You know, it happens in other sports. You know, it happens in Formula One where the drivers block, or motocross, you know, your team guy will block, you know. So everybody saw it, you know, the ASP and, you know, my family were there, my mum and dad were there, and they were at every Hawaiian event with me, and everyone saw it. The walk up the beach was just horrendous. I remember that day because I was just like gutted, you know. I was like, I couldn't believe what had just happened, and it was all okay. It's weird, it's competition, and that's what it is. And at the point, for a few years, it was hard for me to swallow, very difficult. I'm over that now. We're all good friends, you know, and they've apologised